Hey everyone, welcome to Effortless Qigong. I'm going live here again today. This live session is going to be about 30 minutes hanging out, and we're going to be answering some commonly asked questions that people have about Qigong practice. So if you're new to a Qigong practice, if you've been practicing for a little while, stick around and enjoy this, whether you're watching live or replay, because you will walk out of this live session with some new information that you didn't know previously. Improve your Qigong practice, make it easier, help you to understand what this practice is, what it's good for, some things to look out for, and how we can really make this a powerful part of our daily weekly lives, and how we can live lives of peace, harmony, and wellness. So if you don't know what Qigong is, it comes from ancient China. It's about 3,000 years old. And it's the practice of less stress and more energy. Lots of great stretching movements, self-massage, breathing techniques. If you're someone who knows what yoga is, how yoga can be really relaxing and quality for improving strength and fitness and wellness, Qigong is a similar type of practice, but with essentially all different movements and techniques. They're both really great practices and they work together. So, um, Qi in the word Qigong refers to our life force energy. That's basically our aliveness. Now, some people in the West are skeptical of what could be a life force energy, but just think of it this way: you are alive and you're able to move, and that requires energy. And what's the someone that's alive or not is that they have a life force. They're alive. And we can talk about more about what Qi is in the future. Okay, so let's dive into answering some commonly asked. I'm going to be putting out some new routines here and some new videos, as well as some blog posts on the website. And I really want to get you guys motivated here because we're entering the winter. Can be a great time to start a Qigong practice. We're going to be inside a lot more. You might not be moving as much, and so Qigong can be really great to start now. It's also great to do in the summer as well. Of course, getting out to a park, being able to stretch and breathe and enjoy your Qigong practice that way is fantastic. But we're going to just dive in, ask questions, that way you can know a bit more about it. This first question that's commonly asked, I was actually talking at the hostel I'm staying at today with some folks about what it is I do and that I teach Qigong, and a girl said, oh, it's like Tai Chi. And it is similar to Tai Chi. To very briefly go into like what's the difference between Tai Chi and Qigong. Now, I'm not a Tai Chi expert, but this is basically the difference. So Tai Chi, you're doing a lot of long, slow movements and forms. Okay, there's like 24 movements or particular sequence. And I think Tai Chi is actually it's very and I teach. It's very easy. You do we movement many times to get the benefit, like move the spine and open up the rib cage. You do spinal cord breathing. And Qigong has many more types of techniques than Tai Chi. Tai Chi is sort of like a flow. It's a martial arts form of Qigong, and Qigong for health, spiritual growth, and overall health and fitness. You can actually, depending on who you ask, you can say that Tai Chi is a type of Qigong. It's a martial arts form of Qigong. That's the difference. In Tai Chi, and Qigong is, I think, much more broad. You'll learn a lot more different types of techniques, stretches, self-massage, breathing exercises. You can do Qigong sitting, laying down, standing up, moving. Tai Chi is a movement practice. More than a movement practice, it's a whole system of cultivation, okay? Some people are asking, Qigong make you strong? The answer is yes, but not in the way that we're used to in most cases. So we know if we go and lift weights or do push-ups, that's going to build some muscle, we're going to get stronger. If we go for a run, we're going to be more fit than, we're going to be able to run further, right? Improve cardio fitness. And when you go to the gym, you can train, let's say, two ways broadly. You can lift heavy weights and grow, big muscles, or you can lift smaller weights and do more reps and grow smaller muscles. We're actually less focused on building physical strength as we are. So Qigong can make you stronger. For example, big strong guy, he can probably lift a lot of weight, but when he's holding his arms in a standing position like this, it's super relaxed. He's just standing. His muscles are actually burning. The reason doing these basic stances and structures that we do in a Qigong practice work the body in a way that we're not used to. Even though it's more relaxing, it is a really good workout as well. Okay, so Qigong can make you stronger. It can make you more fit, and especially as we get older, if you're someone in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and you're older, and you are finding that you can't do, strenuous exercise anymore, a Qigong practice is fantastic because it is so light and it can be done with such low effort and exertion that you can also do that practice as well. Qigong is great for people of all ages, but especially when we're older, if we're looking for ways of moving, that's fantastic as well. So Qigong can make you stronger. Now, is Qigong, if you're trying to become super strong and muscular, should you just do a Qigong practice? No, but it can be a part of your overall, okay, because I think it's important to do those strenuous forms of exercise. It's super important for longevity, health, and becoming stronger. But we also want to do these light forms of exercise where we're just stretching, breathing, doing postures, and all that stuff. Okay, people Qigong be harmful. I think if you are practicing Qigong with someone who's certified, I'm a certified Holton Qigong teacher. If you're listening to your body, if you're not pushing the stretches too far, I think overall Qigong can be very safe. However, there are certain dangers to be mindful of. You can feel lightheaded, you can lose your balance. If you're practicing by yourself, like something I've done in the past, I've done certain breathing exercises that kind of brought up too much energy to the head. Qigong can also unleash some emotion. So if you're someone who's you're really tense, someone's asking me to make a heart. I don't know what that means. Okay. If you're someone who hasn't connected to your emotions, Qigong can open up you to feel emotions that you haven't felt. So that can be a risk. But generally, cathartic, it can be really, and it's good. I'd say overall, Qigong is one of the safest forms of exercise, especially here on YouTube. But there are risks to think about, okay? Make sure you're somewhere where there's not a lot of rocks in case you do lose your balance. You want to make sure that you're staying safe. Another question people are asking is, can Qigong help you to lose weight? The answer is, now Qigong does burn calories. It is a good workout. But where Qigong helps people lose weight, I think mainly is that we find people are stress eating. Like if you are someone who you're chronically stressed, and one of the ways you deal with your stress is that you eat, and you're eating food that's very pleasurable. Fast foods, sweets, candies, these types of things. You're not eating for nutrition, you're eating for the dopamine or the feeling of pleasure when you're chronically stressed. Qigong can be really great there because it helps you to actually deal with your stress in a high quality way. So you're clearing that stress, and you may be less likely to overeat. Qigong also it's a mindfulness-based practice, and this is something I'm working on. I tend to eat really fast. Now, I've never had any weight issues, but I do eat really fast, and it actually messes up my digestion, and I'm noticing that. and I think it's been a problem for probably years now. Just, on TV, when you do that, digestion not as good. So where Qigong is a mindfulness practice, actually a Qigong practice is mindful eating. So slowing down, avoiding distractions, chewing your food properly, all that stuff, part of the help you lose weight, movements and digestion. And it's a wondering this as well, is heal. Um, Qigong is fantastic for helping people to heal. Real quick, like share some stories of things I've heard that practice with me. So I know people who have used a severe car accident. I think he did die. Like, okay. When I first, I think I might have been before I started to become certified. I went over to his house. We were talking. I was like, "Hey, let's do a 17-minute Holden Qigong for back and spine," because I knew he'd had a lot of back issues. And we did the 17-minute routine. He was cracking and popping a lot and stopping quite a bit because it was a challenging exercise for him. Like I said, Qigong is a light form of exercise, but it can also be hard depending on your unique body. And he said that night he slept deeper and far better than he'd done in years. And he felt all this energy in his body, and he woke up feeling really good. So yes, Qigong can heal. You know, older students, like one woman had a pinched neck. She pain anymore. So Qigong can help improving flexibility, and it can help heal. And you can look more deeply into this, but essentially, like, if your body is relaxed, the blood and the qi is flowing properly, your organs are working properly, and Qigong helps to harmonize all of this, that can help you heal. Can Qigong lower blood pressure? People are wondering that. It can. There's showing that Qigong can help to lower and regulate blood pressure. People ask, like, what does Qigong mean? Qi refers to your life force energy. So it's important to realize that the ancient Chinese and even modern doctors, there's a concept called Qi. Qi is your aliveness, it's your life force energy. And Gong means to work with or to be skilled in. Okay. When was Qigong created? Qigong has about a 3,000 or 4,000 year old history. It goes back even potentially further. There's some historical evidence that ancient Chinese shamans are doing movement type practices, and these types of dancing, healing dances have been part of this society for a long time. Of course, I mean, China probably isn't 10,000 years old, but in that area of the world, there's 8,000 years old. Qigong. And the modern name Qigong is a relatively recent term. It's actually a pretty modern term. Even though Qigong is an ancient practice, calling it Qigong is pretty modern. And I think that's really interesting because what we're seeing now is that a lot of these practices, Qigong or yoga, meditation, which were not super popular in the West or even believed to be useful in the West, are now becoming very popular in the Western world. So yoga, of course, we know it's like super popular. It's everywhere. Yoga clothing, yoga studios are everywhere. And I think what's happening now, though it's a different type of practice, is that Qigong in the West is becoming more popular. Qigong and yoga have even merged a little. There's a lot of Qi teachers out there who teach Qigong yoga. They kind of merge them both. I think that's a great way for getting people into the practice, because if you're already into yoga, you might as well do some Qigong practices as well, because each of these types of practices have unique movements that complement each other in a lot of ways. So that's really cool. When is Qigong used? People are asking online. Qigong is used for different reasons. Some people like to use Qigong like if they're feeling stressed at work or if they had a really difficult day. They might come home after work, put on a routine, for example, an effortless Qigong routine here on YouTube, and they'll do that practice to de-stress. Qigong is great for removing stress from the day. People also use Qigong practice in the morning because Qigong offers a light and powerful way to actually open up the body's energy system first thing in the morning. So you get up in the morning, you activate, stretch, you ground yourself, and it can be a great way of bringing some high quality energy into the day ahead of you. People also use Qigong in the evening as well. There's different types of for unwinding and going to sleep. I have a bunch of these practices here on YouTube, and more of them are coming out now that I have time to make some new videos. So stick around for that. And then, of course, people are also using Qigong, like maybe on the weekends when they have more time, to do like a 1 hour practice, really go deep into the practice. And they might do shorter 5, 10, 20-minute practices throughout the week to sort of continue that energy through their week, right? Because you can go really deep in an hour, clear a lot of stress, develop some inner harmony, feel the energy more flowing through your system, and then you want to maintain that throughout the week. And of course, Qigong can be used for health. It's a fantastic health-based practice, and I think things like longevity and health are so popular right now. People want to not only live longer, but we want to live well. Like, we don't want to be 80 and super sick and not doing so well, but we want to be able to get to our old age and still feel young and full of vitality, okay? We want to have that energy so we can do the things that we love when we're older, when we're retired. And so by investing in doing a Qigong practice on a regular basis from a young age, or even if we're older, starting to do it, we can increase that likeliness and that odds that we have the ability to move, to stretch, to move around, to feel good in our bodies. And Qigong offers that. There's studies that show that people that do Tai Chi and yoga have more high bone density. They have more flexibility. They're actually able to breathe deeper. And breathe is so important for our well-being in life. I'll talk more about that in future live sessions, but breath is so fundamental to your health, how you think, so many things. Someone says, eat your vegetables too, peeps. That's true. Nutrition is important. And actually, this idea of Qi, we're talking about Qigong. Let's think about that. Where do we get Qi from? So Qi means energy. Where do we get energy from? Well, the three main places in Qigong theory is from food. You eat food, you get calories. You burn calories to live. That's energy. That's Qi. You get energy from breathing. Okay, we know that if we don't breathe for like a couple of minutes, we'll die, right? So that's super important. And we get energy from our parents, from our mother. So we're born with energy. So that's called the primordial chi that we're born with. It's that immortal candle that keeps handing itself off as babies are born. That's the chi we're born with. And then we get chi from food and air. Okay? So that's why it's so important to eat healthy and to eat properly, because how you eat is going to affect your chi quality as well. We also get energy from other things, if you've noticed, like spending time with family, from doing things that we enjoy, from exercise. We get energy from being creative, from being intimate with our partners. So these are other types of Qigong considerations to think about as we're developing our high quality energetic system. So one of the key goals of becoming a Qigong practitioner, of someone who's doing Qigong on a regular basis, is to be superbly healthy, right? To have a really strong nerve force, right? We want our nervous system to be healthy, responsive, and regulated, right? We want to be able to, like, as we have stress that comes into our lives, because, like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Earth right now at this age, we have so many stresses that are acting on us, right? Qigong is a practice and a system so we can have enough energy to face those challenges. So we can have the tools and the systems to undo stress from the day ahead of us, so we can live lives that are beautiful and powerful. Okay. So, why does Qigong work? That's a really good question. Well, let's break Qigong into its components. So, Qigong works for many different reasons. One is, why does Qigong work? Well, why do people say exercise is good for you? Why is meditation good for you? Why is stretching good for you? Why is massage good for you? Why is rest and relaxation good for you? Why is mindfulness good for you, right? So we have all these different aspects of Qigong that come together to create this incredibly powerful practice. When we exercise, when we're clearing stress, we're promoting our overall health and our longevity. So that's why Qigong works, because it combines all of these things that we know. If you're anyone who's been doing health or personal development for any length of time, you know that all those things I just said are really good for us. When we combine them into a single practice and we do it on a regular basis, it helps to improve our overall health and well-being. We want to, from a Qigong perspective, we want to cultivate and strengthen our energetic system. We want to clear stress, and we want to promote the inner qualities that we want. So in Qigong, we're really focusing on transforming stress, tension, toxic emotions into high quality energy, high quality emotions, so we can feel good. I think that cultivating a life of inner peace, love, and connection makes life so much more worth it. And I see Qigong as a foundational habit and pursuit to do that. And some people ask online, why is Qigong better than yoga? I don't think Qigong is necessarily better than yoga, but it is different. Qigong is a lighter form of exercise. It's more energetic. It's more internal. The yoga that we're doing here, these are really good fitness exercises. Yoga Nidra is really good for relaxation. So I don't think Qigong is better than yoga. I think they're different. And it's kind of like, if like, why is one way of moving better than another? Hard to say that that's the case when every movement that we'll do helps the body in different ways. So I'm not really a fan of thinking that Qigong is better than yoga or better than Tai Chi or breath work. I actually think all of these things are really important and are good for us. So that's cool. Let's see. Okay, well, let's do a couple of Qigong exercises here, and then we'll finish this live stream. So if you're watching this live or a replay, I hope you found that interesting. And yeah, that was fun to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of a Qigong exercise. What's up? So I'll move this back. What up? I'm going to move this up a bit. Okay, cool. So as I'm seated Qigong, I'll do it for about 5 minutes so you guys can kind of see what Qigong is all crooked and it's annoying. All right, look at this beautiful day. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, before we start here, someone says, I'm in my 60s, the milkman's kid. I'm in my 60s and I do wheelies and I love it. That is awesome to hear. I think, I'm 29. I hope that when I'm in my 60s, I'm doing wheelies on my mountain. I actually used to be a competitive cyclist, so I love riding my bike. Hopefully I can do that soon here too. Yeah, that's something I agree with. And I think that hopefully through all the stuff I'm seeing online, like Johnson's work, that more people who are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, like it'd be so great if 80 was the new 40 or 100 was the new 25. Hopefully we can get our science and our well-being as a species to that point. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a. So let's. One of the great ways to start a Qigong practice is a spinal cord breathing. You can do this 3 or 4 movements, and then we'll wind down this live stream. So take your hands, nice and relaxed. Inhale, open up the rib cage, and exhale, bend. Super great for moving and articulating the spine. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our spine and our backs. So this is great for moving it out. Also, so important to breathe fully and exhale out as you come down. Feel the back of the spine as you inhale up. And then feel the front of the spine as you come forward. This is a great clearing emotional stress, brain fog, helping to improve focus. And because it can be done sitting like this, it's actually a good movement for if you're working out, sit all day. You can do it sitting or standing. Just get up. I find this movement when I'm working on my computer for a long time is really clearing that brain fog, that stress. It's so good is that you're moving the spine, massaging the brain basically, the ribs, breathing oxygen into the system, having that nice gastric. I think that. So one more time. Then cool. So is these wrist circles. in our hands. In terms of Qigong theory, super important. There's tons energetically going on in the hands. So you want to open up the Qi and the blood flow into the hands. And you can actually bring both hands into it like this. So one hand goes over the other. Feel that stretching and popping. Now, science is showing that moving the body in a variety of ways, especially ways that are like challenging. They say like pat your head, rub your belly at the same time. But actually learning these new types of movements is really good for the nervous system. I think what's cool at Qigong, tons of movements and different older we can open new movements, new techniques. And then coming back to the old ones or even doing this nervous system, about how movement makes you feel. Now we go the other way around. One over the other. Actually, hands out a little bit. So if you shake your hands, inhale through the nose, and sigh out your mouth, you can instantly start to feel stress leaving the body. Shaking is a super healthy and powerful practice for clearing stress, improving blood flow, circulation, and when you combine that with mindfulness and breathing, there's nothing else like it, okay? So super simple, looks a little funny, it works. We really want to do something that works. Does it work? Then we're gonna do it. And we don't really, what's weird, what's not weird is really the effective way. So once you get used to it, it's not that weird. The nose, and you can sigh release. Feel a little bit better. Just take a minute here now, feel into your hand. Breathe. Feel that shift in your energy. Relax. And you might feel some buzzing in the hands. That is the activation of life. Blood carries chi through the body. Cool. Now that we've activated, let's do a little flow. So hands like this. Arms up. And exhale, float down. And we'll do this 4 more times. Inhale. And exhale down. And inhale, arms float up. And exhale. And one more time, inhale, arms float up. And exhale down. Cross hands over the belly. And take some. 4 or 5 movements practice. So in this live session, I answered some commonly asked questions. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. There's new routines coming up, and there's plenty of fantastic Qigong routines here already on the channel. Make sure you check out effortlessqigong.com and check out the 7-day Qigong challenge. When you sign up, every day you'll receive a short 7-minute routine to help you to stress and tension and have more high quality energy. You do it every day for 7 days. It's a great way to get started on your Qigong practice, to build that routine into your life. Because sometimes when you're starting something new, especially like Qigong, you might be like, well, what's the real day one of the 7-day shift? It's good. When you do it every single day for 7 days, just 7 minutes, difference in your energy and how you feel. I've got lots of positive feedback from the 7-day Qigong challenge. Enjoy it. So make sure you sign up for the Effortless Qigong 7-day challenge. Subscribe to Effortless Qigong here on YouTube, and make Qigong a part of your daily living. Let's clear stress. Let's cultivate high quality energy. Let's build beautiful, high quality energy systems, nervous systems, and then we'll carry that energy into our life to build deeper, more beautiful, more energy at work, to have less stress when we're doing things throughout the day. Energy practices are fantastic for cultivating and honoring that gift of life. So I hope you can enjoy the practice as well. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.